Hello, Revere, and welcome to the Revere News Show on the month of May. We have a lot of news for you, and before I give you my news, I would like to introduce my co-host, Steve Fielding, Director of the Revere Senior Center. And Steve, you got so much news for us. Why don't you start first?
I'll tell you, it's strangling me. The news is strangling me.
Leave the jokes with this.
I know, leave them on that side. Anyway, thank you. It's great to be back with you. And this is our May show, May 2018 show. And I just want people to know that today we have a couple of topics. One is going to be consumer fraud in a specific area, which you and I will get into.
That'll be the real estate fraud.
That'll be the real estate fraud. And as usual, I want to give the folks at home a little bit of updates in regard to what's going on at the Rossetti Cowan Senior Center. First of all, I want to make people aware that we do have a low-cost shuttle. If you get the Revere Senior Power newsletter for May, there's always a little bit of a written documentation about what we have. And I think that Big Ben would be listening, but I don't think Big Ben's ears are working too well right now. So we'll just have to wing it, I guess. So anyway, as I was saying, in the Revere Senior Power May newsletter, we want to make sure that people realize that we have a low-cost shuttle. It's a great thing to have at the Senior Center for the people of Revere. It takes people to and from the Senior Center, and it takes people to and from appointments, whether they come to the Senior Center or not. And if you call 781-286-8156, you can ask about the shuttle service. You can find our newsletter at many retail stores in the city, City Hall, the bank, the post office. You can go on www.revere.org/Elder Affairs Department. And on that website, right on the home page, you will find the rules of the shuttle, the guidelines to which you can follow, and find out how you can better get around the city if you don't drive.
Question
Yes.
for you on the shuttle.
Yes.
Does the shuttle only go to Revere, or does it go to other places as well?
It primarily goes to Revere, and the only exception is two. One, we do go to Beth Israel, which is right over the Revere line, right in Chelsea, next to the Walgreens on Broadway. That's about the extent of that. On Wednesday, depending on the schedule and depending on the number of people that we have booked, we do go to Walmart in Lynn, and we go to the Square One in Saugus. Each ride is 2 coupons because we're going out of the city. And basically, we won't sit and wait for you. We drop you off. The driver makes an arrangement of when he will come back and pick you up at one place. Okay, so he's not going to go to Macy's and then drive over to Sears and then go up to, well, Kmart's going to be closed. He'll meet you, he'll drop you off at one place and pick you up at one place. And he'll work that out with whoever's going there. Okay? So it's a great thing. You use it and you find it very helpful.
Oh, I find it very helpful. But you have to be flexible for the time-wise that the driver says he's going to be here.
Yeah, you know why? Because we're not one-to-one service. So I may pick you up, say I'm the driver, I may pick you up. I may pick up 2 or 3 people, but we'll get you to the doctors on time, and we may, pick somebody up on the way back from getting you as well. Maybe we're going to go to Rite Aid or Walmart or wherever it is, So we'll make sure that you get home on time within a reasonable period. You do have to be flexible, though. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, some key dates, okay? So the first one is not a May date, but it's close enough, and I want people to realize what's coming up. It's a save the date, June 14th. And I bring it up here in May because I want people to realize that we have a 2018 Health Awareness Day at the Rossetti Cowan Senior Center at 25 Winthrop Avenue. The Senior Health Awareness Day takes place every year, and this year it's going to be Thursday, June 14th from 10 to 3. We're going to have a lot of vendors. We're out trying to capture and solidify who's going to be attending as a vendor, and we will be publishing much more information to the public very, very shortly. So that's one thing out of the way. The second thing is some key dates. Our computer class meets every Thursday. If you are interested in a basic computer class or even an intermediate or advanced, there are 5 sessions that you can attend. It costs $20. It's really the only thing that we charge money for other than ceramics. And you can learn all about computers. And look at how well you've done. and you learned on your own.
No, I didn't. I learned from your class.
Well, you did learn from the class, but I mean, you've advanced and continued to
Yeah,
advance. That's
because
what I
the
mean.
class was terrific. I knew nothing about the computer until I went to your class.
Yeah, but I mean, you're self-taught as far as going further than what the
Oh,
class
yeah.
actually teaches. That's what I was kind of referring to. We do have a great book club. They meet every third Thursday of the month from 2:30 to 3:30. We also have entertainment every month, and in May, we have a Memorial Day luncheon. We will have it at 12 p.m. We also have an entertainer called Tommy Ruel in his musical journey through the years. He performs at 1 p.m. This is actually his 6th year appearing for seniors, and he's very popular. We will also make sure that we honor those who fell for our country.
What day is that?
That's Tuesday, May 22nd, our Memorial Day lunch.
Okie dokie.
And as you know, Mother's Day is May 13th, which is a Sunday. We usually have something special for mothers immediately the next day on Monday, the 14th of May. I'm not sure what we're going to do for mothers, but we will definitely honor mothers on that day. I want people to realize, too, that we have a monthly hearing program with Mary Marino. She is at the center on Thursday, May 22nd from 10 to 12. Mary is exceptional. She's a good consultant, and she has great pricing for hearing aids should you need them. We have a chair massage lady, masseuse Barbara McDonald, who will be at the Senior Center twice, May 21st and May 22nd. And Barbara really helps relieve the stress and the kinks in your body, and she does a great chair massage for people, and they really, truly love it, and it helps them. We have a monthly podiatry clinic with Dr. Kaplan. He is at the Senior Center every single month, the first Wednesday of every month, and in May it's May 2nd. Also, we have one thing that's coming up in May that I just found out about, and I want to thank the Revere Elks, particularly Linda Evans. She has called me up and offered to have a dinner for seniors at the Senior Center, and we're going to have that May 24th. And Linda and a crew from the Elks are going to come in and work with our kitchen crew, and they're going to have a fabulous dinner prepared right there in the Senior Center. And they're also going to have a comedian and hopefully some bingo with some nice monetary prizes. So that'll be a little bit different. And I thank them very much for offering to do that. At no cost to seniors. It'll be $1.50 for the lunch as usual. As you know, we have a grant in our senior center for monthly lunches, and we have to have it run on a continuing basis in order to sustain it. So, Morris.
I have another question for you.
Yes.
Every year in the month of May, we go down to Bourne, the Veterans Shuttle. You take us. Could you expand on that and let us know what's going on?
Yes. At our Memorial Day lunch, we try to collect money for the veterans.
Right.
And you and I do that, and we try to collect money from the seniors that are attending that particular luncheon. And we will gladly accept money that people want to give anytime, even before that luncheon. And we will ensure that that money goes towards the flags that are purchased, and we'll make sure that it goes to flags for our troops, right?
Right. Paul Monty.
Paul Monty, whose son, was killed.
Jared Monty, yeah.
Jared Monty was killed in Operation Freedom, I believe.
2006 in Vietnam.
2006, not in Vietnam, in Afghanistan.
I meant Afghanistan, excuse me. Yep.
Yes. So we will ensure that money goes. So when you come to the Senior Center for that party, or if you're at the Senior Center and you want to give to that particular cause, it's a great thing. They deliver like 40,000 flags, correct? And place them on the graves of veterans, do they not?
Yes, but I think in this time it's almost about 60,000.
It's even increased.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a great cause. So we want to raise some good money for this. And this is not for the seniors. It's not for Morris and I to go out in the town or go to Vegas on a trip or anything like that. It's going to the veterans. It's going to honor the veterans.
Right. I would like to say one more thing before we do that. The money that we collect for the veterans for Memorial Day, there's a gentleman in the city of Revere, Paul Bonfiglio, who hires a bus.
Yes, he does.
And he takes all the veterans, non-veterans, the volunteers that want to go down and put flags on the grave.
Yes.
He takes them down there for free.
Right, right. And Paul is to be commended for that.
Exactly.
That's for sure. Okay, we have two things before we get into the real estate fraud. Two things. One, I'm asking younger seniors to come to the Senior Center. No offense, Morris. because you're the elder statesman at the
No, I'm
senior
not.
center?
Tony Barrasso.
Oh, Tony Barrasso's 100. I know that.
Chucky is 92, so
Chuck
he's
is-
older than I
Well,
am.
you're one of them.
One
Let
of
me put
them.
it that way.
Yep.
So we want to attract seniors. This is not your grandmother or your grandfather's senior center. We have more than just bingo and lunch. We have a lot of great exercise and health programs. For instance, we have a great Tai Chi class every Monday with Bill Barron. It is packed and it's doing very well, and it's a great thing. We have chair yoga with Bibiana Gomez on Friday mornings at 11:15. I went up there today, Morris. I opened the door. I forgot that the class was going on. There were 20 people sitting in chairs with their eyes closed and their hands outstretched, and they were just relieving all the stress from their body and their mind, just clearing everything out. So it was great. We have a great combination exercise class with Nancy, and that's on Thursday, and she's been at the Senior Center for about 17 years, and she does a great thing. We have Latin Gold with Miguel. In fact, next week I'm going to have Miguel with Latin Gold perform right in their students, perform right in the dining room, so everybody can see what the people are doing there. And I think they'll like Latin music, particularly you who plays Latin music at the Senior Center.
Yep.
A couple other quick things. We offer a core and balance / fall prevention class by Sharon every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's a great class, and it really helps a lot of people. And I'm also advocating that people come to the Senior Center to watch the movies that we have every Wednesday. We have great new movies, and we have classics, and we have nice snacks, and we have a good group of people. I call them the movie people, and they have a great time.
Right. One thing that I would like to mention to you before we get into the real estate is the water abatement. So
Yes.
you could speak on that.
And this is something that you're well informed about because you were there the day that they came and spoke to that. I have to thank Mayor Arrigo, and I have to thank Michael Amantola, who is the water and billing manager. They came down from the water department, and they have an application that is available to seniors, and it's to get 20% off your bill if you use under 70,000 gallons, and 10% off if it's over 70,000 gallons used.
Right. Is that a one-shot deal, though?
I believe it's
In other
once
words,
per year. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, once per year. But there are specific requirements. I won't get into the details, but I do want you to realize that the application has to be in by June 30th, so that gives you a little over a month. We have the applications at the Senior Center. We have them at the Water Department, and I'm sure if you called up the Mayor's office, they would direct you to where else they would be located. So this has to be completed by the applicant and then by the water meter office staff. So I know several seniors have brought them up to the Water Department and submitted them, and then they will enter them into the system.
Right. Now, like myself, do I have to bring any ID to show them at the water?
Yeah, well, they want to make sure you are who you say you are.
The owner of the house, etc.?
Yeah, let's see. You have to be the owner of record, and you have to occupy the property. And you have to have the water bill and the tax bill in your name,
Right.
whether you're female or male. I guess I'll go through the rest of it. The discount applies only to the owner of 1, 2, or 3 family dwellings. The applicant must provide a Massachusetts state driver's license or picture ID that shows your date of birth. And it does say that additional documentation will be required. I don't know what that is. The applicant must also complete and return the form by June 30th. Every year this program is in effect, and you can return it to the water meter office, not to the Senior Center, but to the water meter office, which is located in the basement of City Hall, the lower level. So that takes care of business.
Okay. Now, before we continue with the real estate, do you want to expand a little about what we got here?
Well, one of the things that brought this about was that you and I were talking about some calls that you got, right?
Oh, yeah, 2 of them that I know of.
Yeah, so there's a lot of inventory. I shouldn't say inventory. There's a lack of inventory in Revere and surrounding areas for real estate. So naturally, there's a lot of people that want to make money by trying to entice people to sell their home. And how they do that is very, very, it's somewhat evil because they're preying on seniors. Okay, I call it evil because they're preying on seniors, and there's a lot of fraud. Do you want to expand on an example of that?
Well, the words, well, the first one that came up, can I expand on my
Sure.
call?
Yeah,
I
go
got a
ahead.
call from a real estate. A woman calls me up. She says, I understand you're selling your house, which I had never listed my house on the market, and I never sold it. And I said to her in a nice way, because I didn't want her to continue talking to me and wasting my time or her time. I said, you called me at the wrong time. I have company on here, but thank you for calling, and I hung up. When I redialed that number, because I had that number on caller ID, it says this number is out of service. The minute I heard that this number is out of service, I have a block call. I push the block button. That call will not come to yours truly anymore. That's one way of handling it.
Yeah, so what's happening is because there's low inventory and there are people trying to make some real money out of there because house prices are very high right now in Revere and surrounding communities, seniors are being targeted. And there's 3 reasons why they're being targeted. One, most predators feel that seniors have a nest egg because they may own their own home, they may have excellent credit, and so con artists take advantage of that.
So let me say this to all the con artists. If you were to break into my house and drop something, I would come out ahead. So don't do it.
Also, you know, most seniors grew up in the 30s, 40s, and even 50s like myself. And generally they were raised to be polite and trusting.
Right, but you made one error, if I may
What?
suggest. I grew up in the 20s.
Oh.
You left me.
Okay, so in any event, sorry about that. Con artists exploit these traits because we grew up in a different type of generation that's
Right.
growing up now. And they know that it's next to impossible to get people, particularly older people, to say no or to just hang up on the phone. You know, most people try to listen and then reason, is this person real or are they trying to, you know, acquire something from me? Also, it's a known fact that older Americans are less likely to report a fraud because they don't know who to report it to. If they get taken advantage of, they feel ashamed that they've been scammed, or they don't even know they've been scammed, you know? So elderly victims may not report a particular crime because they are concerned that relatives may think the victims no longer have the mental capacity to take care of their own financial affairs. So even if an elderly person was scammed, they're not going to tell anybody, particularly their own adult children, because then they'll step in and they're afraid of losing that independence and, you know, responsibilities that they are able to maintain and have for years.
I'd like to talk about one scam if I can.
Sure.
It's called the straw man scam. That's what the real estate agent calls you up. You want to sell your house, but he has someone else come into your house to look at it and give you a low price, say that's all it's worth.
So if somebody was, say somebody came in to you and they said, oh, you could get $300,000 for your house, just
Right.
throwing that number out, just for the lack of
Go ahead.
a number.
Yep.
So you're saying they'll set up somebody to come to an open house and lowball that offer?
Exactly, who'll be a friend of the real estate agent.
I see.
And then the real estate agent will say to you, well, since we can't get the high money you wanted, why don't we put it as a listing?
Right.
Instead of, you know, having the real estate agent do it for you right
And
there.
it may also be a case where that $300,000 figure is already a lowball figure. Your house might be worth $450 to $500, and they're saying, oh, if you sell it as is, it's only $300.
Right.
You know.
This is where the real estate agent says, we'll buy your house as it is. In other
Right.
words, if we don't sell it, we'll buy it.
Right.
So they make sure that they have the straw man come in as a stranger looking at your house while you're there,
Right.
and you want 300, and he'll say, I'll only give you 200.
That's right.
And that's the way it works sometimes.
So for somebody who may have grown up in the Depression or even prior,
Yes,
that seems like a lot of money to them. When
It
in
is.
fact, it's not the real market value of the house. It's not the value of what they could actually get. It is a lot for them because a lot of them grew up and struggled to get where they are. You know, so you had another example there, correct?
Sometimes people rent a house that does not exist, and what a phony one will do is, let's say you're going away on vacation for a couple of months. He'll take your locks out and put in his own locks, as if the house was his. and he'll put it on the market, and he'll say to people to come look at it, and he'll show it to him and give him a low figure so the people pay the money for it. Put it down.
Okay, well, here's some particular tips, fraud alert tips I could give you if you would like to hear some.
You definitely.
Okay, you have the same sheet that I have, so.
Yep, and I got some other tips here, but you could.
Okay, so the first one is to be very diligent and suspicious and proceed very cautiously about any solicitations you may take over the phone or in person, okay? So you need to play defense, you know? You have to listen to your inner voice and say, I have to protect myself, regardless of what this person is saying, okay? The other thing is you should be skeptical of unsolicited offers to help you, and particularly if they don't put anything in writing. You have to be able to follow sound advice from people around you, people that you trust, people who are maybe relatives or close friends, and don't talk with strangers. It sounds funny to say that to a senior, but it's true. You don't need to be nice to all strangers. You don't have to be nice to somebody on the phone. And like your case, you know, you just hang up or you just say no to them. That's the easiest thing to do, right? If a person offers to provide a real estate service on your behalf, and you are somewhat interested, make sure you follow the procedure of following their identification, you know, their license, check them out. Make sure you look at their materials. Make sure that you ask them to include any advertisements they may use for those services. Go to the Better Business Bureau. You know, follow up and make sure you do your homework. Lastly, Morris, if anybody commits fraud, a lot of times they use fake websites. They use fake sounding names. And others, you know, the newest scam is that they will adapt and modify their schemes as long as they're working for them. So they can change it up a little bit. And so those are four things that I just kind of went over.
Here's one that's not on here, but it came off the computer, and this happened to someone on the computer. They went away on vacation and left their home to a home sitter who they hired. That home sitter stole their credit cards while he got their credit card numbers. He also stole their automobile and sold it. But he used the credit cards to embezzle them out of over $50,000. And they had a tough time to get it back.
Well, since we're talking about this stuff, and I don't want to forget to give the number, okay? I have one number, and I think you have another.
Yep.
So the number I want to give people, if they even have a question about anybody or a question about fraud, whether it be real estate or others, it comes from the Attorney General's office. It's the Public Protection and Advocacy Bureau. And they have a hotline number, and they'll take any kind of call regarding fraud. The number is 617-727-8400. 617-727-8400. And all you have to do is tell them about what you suspect. Or even if you just had a question about fraud, they will answer it for you.
Right. I have also a number from Attorney General Murray Healy, if you have a fraud. But also you can call your local police too, by the way.
Absolutely. We have great police in Revere, and they will help you.
We got the best, not great, the best, I think, in the city of Revere.
Right.
And the Attorney General's office number is 617-727-2200. I would like to give him one more number, if I may.
Go right ahead.
The victim of grandparent. If you're a grandparent and you've got the grandparents fraud, the number they say here is 1-877-FTC-HELP. But actually it's 1-877-382-4357. So if you are a victim of a grandparent fraud, don't be afraid to call that number, because they are there to help you. And if you don't help yourself, no one else will.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So we have a few minutes left, so I want to move on from this.
Go ahead.
And again, you know, as I said earlier, I want to solicit younger seniors, 60 to 75, because we have a lot of things going on that might fit into your lifestyle, particularly health and exercise classes. That seems to be the trend at the senior center, and the ones that have been coming for years, that come to have socialization, that play bingo, that come for lunch, to come to our monthly parties. Those people are fabulous. They're regulars like yourself, and we love them, and we love to have them there. and we want them to continue to come too. And I always say seniors should advocate for seniors as well as me and my staff advocate for seniors. Don't be hesitant to bring somebody with you to the senior center.
Yeah. Could you mention, you say come to the senior center, tell us some of the great lunches we have there, and we do have great lunches.
Well, here's an example. I mean, this is the main menu.
Right.
Okay.
I mean,
So the regular typical menu that we have: Italian sausage with peppers, roasted potatoes on a French roll.
I had that, delicious.
Right, with cookies for dessert.
Right.
We had, the other day, we had seafood salad on a roll with tomato soup and chips, and we had assorted desserts. We have raviolis and meatballs with Italian salad and a nice dinner roll. We have stuffed shells with sauce and meatballs. We have
Lasagna.
hot dogs on a roll with
Oh,
brown
yeah.
beans and coleslaw.
Stuffed cabbage.
Stuffed cabbage is a big one. Meatloaf with gravy, whipped
Right.
potato, green beans, roll and butter. I mean, I could go on and on. It's like a menu that you would find in a restaurant. It's wide and varied. It's located in the newsletter that you get every month. Or if you want to get it, you can go to the retail stores or the bank, or you can even come to the senior center.
Also mention to them that they come in the morning if they want to and have coffee and donuts for a very low fee.
We're very fortunate at the Revere Senior Center. We have coffee, tea. Usually we have English muffins. We have
Croissants.
bagels, rolls, Danish. And a lot of that is donated by Caring Hearts Ministry. Carol DeSantis from the First Congregational Church is
Right.
very, very generous to seniors, and she makes sure that we have a lot of those things. And I'll tell you, people just like coming and getting out of those four walls. It's not good to be alone. It's good to have friends or make friends. We have an example of a couple of guys that are at your table, Vincenzo and Cello.
Yep.
They never knew each other. They spoke broken English.
Yep. They both come from the old country.
They both come from the old country, and they were both very hesitant to come to a senior center when their daughters brought them. Both of them had daughters that brought them, and they were nervous. And you look at them today, I mean, they're smiling. They go around saying hi to everybody. People come over and kiss them. They bonded. These two guys happen to bond very well together, as well as all the other folks at your particular table that you sit at. And it's a very welcoming place, and it's just a wonderful environment for seniors. Last month we had the Bruins hockey, floor hockey game.
Yep.
And seniors had a great time. We try to do different things. That was different. So we had the Bruins Foundation come down and run a floor hockey, street hockey game. We've had Singo Bingo, where we've had a DJ do the bingo. We have great parties every single month. We have a lot of line dancing and other things happening there. So it's a great environment for a lot of people. You don't have to be immobile to come to the senior center. You can be active. You can go to your health and exercise class, come down, have coffee, and meet one of your older seniors, and talk about things. So
Right.
it's great.
We also have about a minute left, so I would like to close the show.
Go
if
right
I
ahead.
may. So I want to thank all the people for listening in, and I hope you continue to listen in because we have great shows coming up every month. So I would like to say thank you for listening. I want to say thank you to all our veteran troops out there serving and who have served. God bless our great country, the United States of America, and God bless all our people of Revere. Thank you.